I recall being woken up by the 6 in the morning alarm. I set on my laptop using a third-party website. After getting about an hour and a half of sleep. I got up within a handful of minutes later. At around 6:15 in the morning, I had, with my first cup of plain coffee for today, a cranberry walnut muffin that was part of a pack of 4 my dad got from Wegmans. I recall having a second full cup of plain coffee before my dad drove me to the Wegmans I work at around 7:05 in the morning. And I recall having 2 cups of plain coffee from 2 Wegmans generic pods and a paper cup from the break room. I sipped at the first cup while waiting for the start of my shift. Which was from 8 in the morning to 1:30 p.m. I sipped at the second cup primarily during the first hour or so of my shift. during which I primarily restocked the banana section, hard items section, and the bulk wall of the produce department. The banana section it's like a sort of raised staircase display of bananas. The hard item section you'll find basically varieties of potatoes and onions on traditional flat supermarket open displays for product without any shelves, and is right in front of the banana section, which is at the very back of the produce department. And from the perspective of standing in front of the banana section and looking towards the front of the produce department, the bulk wall is on the right side of the produce department. To the point of pretty much being the right wall of the produce department. It is called the bulk wall as it predominantly consists of produce that is either completely loose or is semi-loose, consisting of individual bunches held together either by a plastic tie, tag, or by tagged rubber bands. And these produce products almost exclusively come with PLU codes, so customers can decide how much they want on an either by pound or how much basis. I took my 1 and only 15-minute break today, roughly 6 minutes after 1. p.m. as around 1 p.m. I helped a male coworker to restock regular watermelons onto 2 flat open displays at an entrance of the supermarket between the transitional area and the main part of the supermarket. Those displays technically aren't part of the produce department, but produce is still involved in this case. The regular watermelons were restocked from their large octagonal cardboard container that was transported via a hand jack while being on a wooden pallet. For some of the watermelons, the male coworker got them out of the octagonal container and then passed them to me, and I would put them with other watermelons like them on one of the 2 flat open displays. And over the course of roughly 5 minutes, both of those displays were restocked with regular watermelons until the large octagonal cardboard container was empty. During my 15-minute break, I microwaved a cold cuts with pepper jack cheese and some mayo sandwich my dad made using some of the loaf of salty French bread we got the other day from the Salty Bread Pizza Cafe. I microwaved that sandwich for 30 seconds in the break room before walking to the cafe part of the supermarket, which I recall only took a minute or 2. With the sandwich, I had an aluminum can of True Energy. As that was the beverage my dad packed when he packed my lunch. Sometime between me getting up for today and before we left, so I could be driven to the Wegmans I work at. I recall during the first half of my shift, for about an hour and 15 minutes, I restocked the banana section of the produce department until it was double stacked, which is when all of the levels of the raised staircase shelving of the banana section is full of bunches of bananas. And then you put more bunches of bananas in between bunches on two levels, and repeat that until the banana section is not only full, but is completely double stacked, and you can't put any more bunches in between two bunches on two different levels of the banana section. Throughout my shift, a passing customer would occasionally get my attention to request help, usually either asking for the price of an already located product, because the price tag was missing, in which case I never knew it. for sure, so I would just either estimate based off another product with a price tag, or I would look for a nearby coworker to ask. For cases of asking if we had a specific product within the produce department, I would first look for it on the floor. And if it wasn't there, I would go to the back or the section of the employees only warehouse for those who work for the produce department. And if a worker was nearby, I would ask them if they knew whether we had that product or not. And if I was by myself, I would try to look for that product myself. Sometimes what the customer was looking for would be found, and other times not, but in either case, I did my best to try to assist the customer. Right after my shift, my mom picked me up from the Wegmans I work at, and she drove me back to my dad's place. I recall sleeping roughly from 2 p.m. to about 7 p.m. before I naturally woke up. I'm currently editing the June 12 My Dinner video in Camtasia 2019. I've been doing as such since starting during the early night hours. I recall during my shift at Wegmans, in the hour or so before I helped restock the regular watermelons onto the flat open displays at a front entrance of the supermarket, between the transitional area of the supermarket where you'll find the shopping carts and the main part of the supermarket. I recall feeling tired and nodding off somewhat, but even with that, I was still able to do a great job restocking merchandise within the produce department. Here's where I am currently in terms of clearing out and rebuilding the ancient city on Oceania.